to help you bring the principles of successful networking to life. Please welcome to the stage, Amy Majoory.
By a show of hands up high so I can see them, how many of you here currently work with real estate investors? Let me see those hands if you do up high. Okay, cool, you guys, that's great, perfect. How many of you don't work with real estate investors? Let me see those hands. Okay, we're about 50-50. I like that. You're all in the right room, and here's the great news. Whether you work with real estate investors or not, it doesn't matter. Because I'm here to motivate you and inspire you and show you all of the opportunities that you have at your disposal by starting to work with real estate investors so you can start to generate multiple streams of income in your real estate business. All by simply leveraging the existing resources around you. Would you all like that, yes? All right, great. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amy Majoory. I've been investing in real estate over the last 10 years, and during that time, I always say I stopped counting once I hit 20. I've raised well over 40, maybe almost $50 million in private money for hundreds of real estate transactions all over the country. And the result of that is not just financial freedom passively, but I've been able to generate so many different streams of income that I never thought was possible. At the height of COVID, I wasn't even working for 2.5 years. But because of the creative trust and rapport building strategies, the networking with a purpose, right? All of those things we're gonna talk about today that I was able to integrate simply into my day-to-day lifestyle, that was fine. It didn't matter that I couldn't go to my next live event, that I couldn't buy any properties for whatever reason. Because I had established strategic partnerships with all sorts of real estate professionals in my inner and outer circle. While I kicked back and relaxed and just saw transactions come into my account. So I'm here to talk to you today about how we can get creative and think outside the box so that you too can create your lifestyle by design. So that you too can get out there and network with a purpose. Traditional means of networking, it's very one-sided. It's all about how many events can I go to? How many business cards can I hand out? How many people can I get into my CRM? I like to make that mindset shift and think about modern day networking, where we come from a place of service first, genuinely thinking about how can we serve others so that the law of reciprocity finds its way back to us? So that's what we're going to focus on today. I'm actually going to give you 3 different creative trust and rapport building strategies. How many? 3 that you're going to start to implement before you even leave this event. At the end of the day, you guys, my background is very traditional. I was raised to go to school, get good grades, get a corporate job that I would stay at for the next 25 years, collecting that secure and stable paycheck. That one and only job offer that I got out of undergrad happened to be with Dell Computers. I still don't know how I got that offer. I didn't even know Dell was in Austin, Texas, when I had the interview when I was living in Michigan. And, you know, for me, 14 years into my career at Dell, real estate was the game changer. For me, I realized that a traditional 9-to-5 combined with the false securities of a 9-to-5 wasn't going to allow me to do the things I wanted to do in life, or experience the things I wanted to experience, or travel all over the world. But it wasn't always that easy. I was at Dell for 14 years with an MBA, and I was grossing $87,000 a year. Even though my aha moment was investing in real estate, as a real estate investor, my heart was in flipping houses. So that's what I started doing downtown Chicago. I didn't have my own money. How am I supposed to get out there and go buy, renovate, and sell 10 luxury properties in downtown Chicago on an income of $87,000 a year? So I had to learn how to talk to people so they would invest with me, how to get creative and think outside the box, how to build that rapport and trust so that they would know and like me. So what do those conversations look like? Many of us have seen this and we've heard it. Surround yourself with people on the same mission as you, right? You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Yes, sure, absolutely, I agree with that. But this isn't something that I just preach from stage. I have been implementing this mindset and this strategy from day one over the last 10 years. Anyone here read the book by Jim Collins, From Good to Great? Raise your hand if you have. All right, cool, a few of you. It took me a long time to admit from stage, I don't like reading. But I had to read in grad school, and this is one of the books that we were forced to read and write a paper on. So if you haven't read it, I would invite you to write that down, Jim Collins, From Good to Great. Because what he talks about in his book is being very selective with who you choose to surround yourself with. Focus on getting the right people on the bus and getting the wrong people off the bus, and then worry about shuffling them around and getting them into the right seat. So starting from right now, whether it's a virtual assistant or an admin that you're working with, all the way to your CPA and your lawyers, be very selective with building your power team. Because all that's going to do is make your day-to-day job so much easier. And here's what that looks like. Our org charts are going to look very different. This is just an example. After 18 months of being very selective with who I chose to work with, because we have to make several mindset shifts as real estate professionals, right? Sometimes we think we need this person's help. We can't live without them. But us as the business owners and the operators of what we do, we want to make that mindset shift to where if we're doing things the right way with the right people, we're providing others with an amazing opportunity to work with us, right? We have to have that culture and that morale and all of the ethics that lines up. So for me, as a flipper in downtown Chicago, I work with real estate brokers, agents, realtors all the time. Investors have so many different lead sources. For me, my main lead source, it was listings from the MLS. All of you work with the MLS, right? So this is an example of what my team looked like. My listing agent, my acquisitions manager, they're just 2 different realtors. Many of you probably work with buyers and sellers. There are a lot of investors out there who like to have one agent or broker represent them on the buy side because of their strategies and maybe a different one on the sell side. But who cares when they're doing 10, 20, 30 homes a month? So maybe your org chart looks a little different. You work with title companies, inspectors, appraisers, mortgage brokers, right? But starting from right now, I would ask yourselves to rethink your team. Because this is what sets the foundation for you guys to get out there and start to network and generate multiple streams of income. It starts with your power team. So what do these creative trust and rapport building strategies look like? After 18 months of building this, I moved from downtown Chicago. I was still flipping houses. I moved all the way across the country to La Jolla, California. I'm living in a house on a cliff overlooking the ocean. But because of my team, I'm still buying, renovating, and selling properties sight unseen. Because of my agents and brokers who are meeting my contractors at the property. Because of the detailed deal analyzer that I've given to my agent, saying, hey, plug in these 5 numbers, it'll take you 60 seconds, if that. Just plug in these 5 numbers. If it spits out an ROI of 15%, I'll buy properties from you all day long. But I want to be able to get you a response sooner than later. So hey, Olivia, if you just fill out my deal analyzer, which I automated for you, and just go ahead and proactively send me a detailed CMA while you're at it, a few clicks of the button, I will let you know within 5 minutes of receiving your email if we should put in an offer and what that offer looks like. So my goal in the beginning was only 1 to 2 properties. But because of my ability to raise private money, I was able to grow and scale not just my business, but my broker's business too. And this is what's so crazy. My broker started to have mindset shifts to where she saw what I was doing, and she asked herself, why do I keep spending time driving buyers from property to property when they're not clear on what they want? Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. Her aha moment was, how come I'm not working with 5 Amy's? That's 50 properties, luxury, a month, with just 5 clients. Right? So we all have different goals and different ways of getting there. So by opening up your minds to working with investors or even working with more investors, it's a very fast way for you to 10x your portfolio. At the end of the day, this is what we want to do. We want to build our lifestyle by design. You want to be able to do what you want, with whomever you want, whenever you want. So what does that look like for all of us? How do we build your lifestyle by design? How do I show you to get out there and connect more meaningfully with others? And by others, I mean everyone. Everyone you encounter the minute you leave your home. That can be a strategic partnership that you can establish. How can you come from a place of service? How can you think about giving first, genuinely, and expecting nothing in return? So having that power team is what sets the foundation. And whether it's working with investors or knowing how to raise capital that comes next for you, that's what's going to skyrocket and 10x your income. And I'm not even talking about active income. I'm talking about passive income. How can you sit at home and do nothing or chill on the beach and still have transactions coming into your bank account? What does that look like? So for me, all of these creative trust and rapport building strategies that I wrote about in my book and that I'm going to be sharing with you all today, it started, I didn't know that this was the skill set that I had, but it started by knowing how to raise money. Real private money. I'm not talking about hard money. I love my hard money lenders. I'm not talking about somebody brokering deals. I do that too. I'm talking about raising private money the right way from the right people. People in this hotel, your Uber drivers, people in airports, people on airplanes. Private money is rapport-based lending. It's knowing how to talk to people. So how can we talk to a stranger then, Amy? If you're telling me private money is rapport-based lending, how am I supposed to go talk to a stranger and get them to invest with me? I'm going to show you how to start those conversations. And they don't have to invest with you. Half of you said you have investor clients. So why not learn how to raise money for your clients so they can do more deals with you? Maybe you partner with your clients. Maybe you raise money and just collect a finder's fee. There's nothing wrong with that. So what does that look like? So here are the 3 things I'm not talking about when I refer to private money. And then we'll get into a few of the different networking strategies you can use to either raise money or do whatever you want in your businesses. I'm not talking about hard money. Hard money, many of us work with hard money lenders. They're private financial institutions that lend on deals. That's not what I'm talking about, because technically that's private equity. I'm also not talking about banks. Investors, my heart is racing, do not like working with banks. Of course our retail clients, right, buyers and sellers do all the time, and that's fine. You're going to have an investor-friendly bank who's a part of your org chart. When it comes to raising money, I'm not talking about banks, even the investor-friendly ones. And I'm not talking about somebody brokering a deal. Nothing is wrong with those three things. I'm talking about anyone and everyone, the minute you leave your house, becoming a private money lender. People in this room, people at the blackjack table. I'm going to share a script with you later on that a friend of mine used. Last April, I was here at an event. He implemented this script I'm about to share with you, and at the blackjack table, he raised $450,000. He never thought that was possible. He wasn't an investor. He was just surrendering to the process. So he took that $450,000 that he had raised, introduced that individual to a real estate investor, and collected a finder's fee. So why are we doing this? We're not going to sit there and launch a direct mail campaign. We're not going to cold call. This doesn't take us any more time. All we're doing is knowing how to access capital to help other people. And as a result, we are putting more money into our pocket. We are changing the words that are coming out of our mouth. I'm not even going to tell you to go anywhere different. Keep doing what you're doing. Just change that mindset. That's it. A lot of reasons why real estate professionals like us don't even think about leveraging OPM, other people's money, to generate multiple streams of income is because of all of these fears and objections you see on the screens in front of you. I don't have any experience. I'm a broker in Phoenix. I work with luxury clients all day long. Like, I don't have any experience raising money. Guess what? Your luxury clients, your buyers and sellers are great examples of individuals for you to raise private money from. There's a strategy. We don't have time to get through all that today, right? There's a way you're going to plant seeds and talk to these individuals so that it's tactful and tasteful and strategic. I can bet that the majority of you here know plenty of people with access to capital. And by the way, we don't just limit ourselves to raising capital from people with money. It's also people who don't have money. Most educators out there in this industry will tell you, raising money is easy, just go ask your friends and family members. What if you don't want to? What if they're not supportive? What if they think you're crazy? Those are all the things I had to go through, and because I'm stubborn and greedy, I used all of that negative energy and momentum to prove them wrong. Fine, Dad, you don't want to talk to me about real estate for the next 2 years? This is a true story. I turned multiple six-figure profits. I signed a contract with HGTV, and my dad still didn't acknowledge what I was doing as a real estate professional. All he wanted to do was talk about how I left this amazing corporate job at Dell Computers. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go do this without you. Right? That's what drove and motivated me. So these networking strategies I'm going to share with you today, yeah, why not use them to go raise money? But also use them to build your list of buyers, of sellers, ways you can establish strategic partnerships with your real estate attorneys, with your title companies. One of my students who lives in Chicago, she started out as a real estate investor, and now she's one of the top performing brokers in the suburbs of Chicago. So she has all sorts of strategic partnerships in place. With her real estate attorney, for example, he puts on events for her, and the expectation is, and it's the honor system, there are no contracts here, hey, I'll put on events for you all day long. I'll bear that cost because this is an investment for us. And in exchange, Bryn, I would love and appreciate all of your referrals. If you just send them to me as a lead source, I'll cover all of your event fees. I'd be more than happy to do that. So she does that with her real estate attorney, she does it with her mortgage broker, she does it with her insurance broker. Right, so start to think about all the different people that you can be implementing these strategic partnerships with, and I'll give you a few examples as well. Maybe you're thinking, I've already tried raising private money, it just doesn't work for me, or I don't have any. A lot of you who work with investors, your investor clients will tell you, I can't raise private money because I don't have any liquidity. Another way of saying that is you gotta have skin in the game. Skin in the game, what's your skin in the game? No, you don't. All that means is the person you're talking to is simply not going to give you 100%. And that's because the person you're talking to is a hard money lender or a bank. That's normal. That's why the power of private money is so big for real estate professionals and investors. Maybe you're thinking, I feel bad. I don't want to ask this person for money because I don't want them to think they're doing me a favor. They're not doing you a favor. Let's squash that right now. You're doing them a favor. So stop feeling bad. You're the one offering them an opportunity to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. You think they're getting that in the stock market? You think they're getting that in the bank? If you Google right now, what does the bank do with my money? Who knows the answer to that? They invested in real estate. This is why banks have the biggest piece of real estate on the block with marble floors. Hey, private money lender. Hey, buyer and seller, eventually. Be the bank. If I called up my stockbroker, and the only reason I invest in stocks today is because it's something I got into before real estate. I don't put any more money into the stock market. If I called up my stockbroker and said, hey, I'd like to buy a Lululemon at a discount, what do you think they're going to do? Who gets a discount in the stock market? But when you work with your investor buyer clients, more than likely, they're buying these distressed properties below market value, slightly below market value. So the minute they close on the property, they've already built instant equity in the deal. So, hey, private money lender, I'm doing you a favor by allowing you to invest with me. Another common fear and objection is, I don't know anyone with money. I don't have any rich friends and family members. Okay, I'm not telling you to target your friends and family members. It's anyone you encounter the minute you leave your house. What are the first words that come out of your mouth? I'll share that with you shortly. But what you see on the screen behind me, these are the most common reasons, fears and objections, why not just investors, but real estate professionals like us don't get started raising private money. So some of you might be wondering, all right, Amy, great, I get it. You're an investor, you leverage money, you raise private money, that's allowed you to become financially free. Why do I care? Like, what's in it for me? I'm an agent, I'm a broker, I like working with buyers and sellers. Fine, keep working with buyers and sellers. What you see on the screen behind me are 10 different things at a minimum that you or your clients can do when they have access to private money. The two that I circled in green are going to be the most relevant for you as agents and brokers. All right, just know how to talk to people in a different way so that they end up telling you they have money to invest. You can kindly turn them down, but why not refer them to one of your investor clients? Why not collect a finder's fee? There's nothing wrong with that. Even better, why not become your investor clients or somebody who's not a client? Become their capital partner. Why can't you have another pillar to your business? In addition to being a broker, a realtor, and an agent, whether it's working with buyers and or sellers, why not also become a part-time real estate investor? It is so easy for you to raise money when you know who to target and what to say. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. I've been doing this for 10 years. Last April, I spoke at an event here. Up until that point, whenever somebody would ask me, Amy, what's the one thing you wish you would have done differently in real estate? I always said nothing. All my highs, all my lows, all my wins, all my losses got me to where I am today. There have been a lot of highs and lows, but plenty of losses too, y'all. I wouldn't change anything until April. I'll never forget, I still get goosebumps. It was April 24th. We were here in Vegas. I stepped off stage. I went backstage. The gentleman putting on the event came up to me and said, will you be my capital partner? And this is a very big name on the investing side of the industry. Actually, he's based out of Phoenix. And I was like, no, that's not what I do. I was so narrow-minded. I'm a real estate investor. And I've got my own deals, and I teach people how to raise money. Why would I be your capital partner? I don't have time for that. I never even considered the opportunity 2 days later, I had this aha moment. And this is the aha moment I'm inviting all of you to have today. I said to myself, why wouldn't I align myself with Cody Sperber? Why wouldn't I be his business partner? Why wouldn't I be Cody's capital partner? Like, this is crazy. I'm sitting up here telling you it's so easy to raise private money. But for me, that block, that mindset shift was stress. I don't want to be the reason Cody can't close on this next deal. No, I don't want to do it. But the minute I called him and talked it out with him, he was like, Amy, I don't care. Just whenever you have money to deploy, just let me know. You don't have to bear all the responsibility for being my capital partner. And then it was like this huge weight had been lifted off my shoulder. And I thought to myself, I've been doing this for 9 years. That's the one thing I wish I would have done differently. Why go hire a contractor and build an entire team and manage 10 luxury renovations? Sure, the money was great. It was also terrible at times. But why take in all of that when all I need to do is one thing? Raise money, and in exchange for that, I get 25% equity in every deal that we do together. That's just one example. This is what that example looks like. There are so many ways that you can structure deals with other investors out there. Legally and ethically the right way. There are a lot of investors who I work with who raise private money in exchange for 50% of the profits. So keep doing what you're doing. But why not make a few phone calls on the side, have access to capital, and now you bought a property like this in Phoenix, Arizona. This is a luxury Airbnb. Check out these numbers. All I had to do for this project was raise $275,000. That's it. The net operating income is $240,000. This is on the low end. So we have 4 partners on this deal. And that's another thing I love about my partners. They're very conservative, right? What's my 25% equity for making a few phone calls? $5,000 a month in passive income. Do you guys think I have more than one property going on with Cody in Arizona? Yes, absolutely. Why aren't we all doing this? Now I'm calling him saying, where's the next deal? Where's the next deal? Like, this is crazy. So it all starts with a script that I have been testing and measuring over the last 10 years, known as my 4-second power pitch. So I'm going to give you a few examples of how each and every one of you can use this script. First, my 4-second power pitch is 13 words. How many? 13. 13, that's it. I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. That's it. I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. Here's how I used it, and here's how I still use it. When I was working for Deb and I got into real estate investing, I made the decision never to talk about Dell again. Even if that risked me getting fired, I didn't care. That was a risk I was willing to take. So whenever I would be out and about and I'd meet somebody new, or I'd catch up with somebody old saying, hey, what have you been up to? I never said, oh, I work for Dell, but I'm trying to get my dream job with Nike, and I'm like milking from office space, just collecting a paycheck, and I'm trying to get into real estate because I'm obsessed with HGTV. This is all a true story, but that's not what I said, right? I'm sure I'll figure it out someday. No, don't be a buzzkill. Nobody wants to hear you talking like that. So with confidence and with energy, I would say, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. Or I haven't talked to you in a while. It's so good to see you again. Not a big deal. I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. But what was it that you say that you do again? And I purposely dangled that carrot and put it back on them because what are they going to say? What? Tell me more. What do you mean? That's what I want them to say, right? No. All of you here have established professions. You're already working with investors. You've got your buyers and sellers in your target markets who you love, that you love. Great. I'm not telling you to disregard that. So here's how you can still leverage this 4-second power pitch. I'm a broker based out of Phoenix, Arizona, for example. I work with buyers specifically on the luxury side. And I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. This is your call to action. This is the last thing you want coming out of your mouth. 24/7 for the rest of your life, if you want to generate multiple streams of income, if you want to grow and scale your business 10x, if you want to work with more real estate investors or start working with real estate investors, this is step one for the rest of your life. It's the 4-second power pitch. Anywhere and everywhere that you go. You guys, remember, we're not sitting here cold calling. I'm never going to tell you to do that. You're not launching a direct mail campaign for private money. You're not even time blocking to get up there and talk to people. I was telling Alan backstage, I can give you 100 scripts. You don't need them. Just be a normal person. Networking is not something you do. I'm not going to sit here and network today. It's something that you build. How can we integrate and weave these creative, trusted, and rapport-building strategies into your day-to-day lifestyle? I just gave you a script right now that you can integrate into your day-to-day lifestyle. This is going to be very powerful for all of you. Whether you choose to work with investors or not, whether you choose to raise private money or not, what you do as agents and brokers is you're building rapport and trust all day long. So whether it's on the phone, whether you choose to have, cold calling conversations or other means of marketing, whether you're meeting with somebody for the first time or the 10th time, this strategy is called 2 numbers and a result. On the very first conversation that you have with someone, more than likely it's going to be somebody new to your network, we want to make sure 2 numbers and a result is integrated into the first 2 sentences that come out of your mouth. I'll share a few different examples with you and what that means. When I stepped on stage, I said, my name is Amy. I've been investing in real estate for the last 10 years. That's my first number. This is how I'm building rapport with you. And during that time, I've raised over $40 million in private money. That's my second number. The result of that is I've been able to achieve financial freedom. I've been able to generate multiple streams of income. I've been able to live my lifestyle by design. So what are your 2 numbers and a result? When you sit down and talk to not just buyers and sellers, but your power team, everyone in your business as a real estate professional. So we've got the 4-second power pitch, and now you've got 2 numbers and a result. For some of you, it may look something like my sister-in-law, Nguyen. I used her as an example earlier. Hi, my name is Nguyen. I'm a real estate broker based out of the south side of Chicago. Over the last 5 years of being a broker, I've completed $60 million in transactions. On the south side of Chicago, that's a lot. Downtown is a different story. And the result of that is, I'm now the go-to broker in my market. All right, so I gave you an example of me as a real estate investor or a private money coach, and then Nguyen as a broker. So start to create your own scripts. Maybe you have different scripts, depending on who you're talking to in your business. There's another strategy out there called the Ford method of rapport building. Some of you have probably heard of the Ford method of rapport building. Feel free to Google it later. I just like to add G to the beginning of that. So I call it G Ford, and here's why this is so critical. I was at a networking event a couple of weeks ago in Austin, Texas. And I'm talking to this guy, he's another investor, we're having this great conversation, and many of you have probably experienced this, and another guy just comes up to us. Remember earlier I said, come from a place of service? It's not about how many names you can put to your phone book or into your CRM, it's about how you can help others. My heart's racing as I think about the story. So this guy just comes up to us, doesn't introduce himself, doesn't say hello. I know nothing about why he's there or what he's doing. He just takes out his phone and he's like, hey, are you guys buyers? Do you want to get on my buyers list? Because I have properties coming to me all the time. No, sir, I don't. Not when you're going to talk to me like that. Like, I've already written him off. He may, and this is my stubborn side talking to you now, right? He may be an amazing lead source. I like to think we got into this industry because we can mold it into what we want. We can pick and choose who we want to work with. That's not fun for me to work with a guy who sounds like that. So as you get out there and you fine-tune your power team, or you restructure and start to build your power teams from scratch, remember G Ford. Where are you from? What brings you here today? Are you here by yourself? Do you have a family back home? I was just talking to Aaron backstage. Do you have any children? But this is something that you genuinely have to feel. So this is why I can give you 100 scripts. And for those of you who are taking pictures, if you're more of an introvert, practice this at home so that you really believe in it. It naturally is the first thing that comes out of your mouth. You don't sound like a scripted robot. We don't want to sound like those credit card companies that call us all the time. Right? What do you do? For example, what do you do? Are you a full-time broker or part-time? What do you do outside of real estate? So those would be some questions that you would ask. For me as an investor, a question that I ask, and I always talk about, it's so easy to raise money in your Uber ride. Many of you flew here. So I always ask my Uber driver. I don't want to assume that's what they do full time, and there's nothing wrong with it if that's what they choose to do. But I'll say, what do you do outside of Uber? That's how I was able to convert Larry, a retired physician, into being one of my private money lenders. Now, I do have a part of me that I'm not an introvert, but sometimes I just don't want to talk. But I still engage in conversation, and I force myself on occasion to engage in conversation. So continuing with the Uber example, if we are in an Uber and we don't have a driver who's just talking a lot, if they don't ask me what I do, I'm just going to ask them what they do, right? Because the law of reciprocity will find its way back to me. All right, great. We know where they're from. We know that they have a family, they're occupation. What do you do for fun? I'm in on business or pleasure. How about you? And what's the end game for you? And again, these are things you can be doing with your clients as well, right? What's the end game for you? Is this your final dream house? Do you want to downsize? Do you want something larger? Do you want to go on a farm? What are your dreams? What's your goal at the end of the day? How can I help you? We need to communicate and talk to them first before we start to lock up these types of deals. So you've got your 4-second power pitch, whether you want to work with investors or not, whether you want to be an investor or not. I've given you 2 numbers and a result. And now you've got G Ford. We've all heard it's your net worth that determines your net worth. Yeah, absolutely sure. I believe that that's true. But I also believe in the opposite. More importantly, I believe that it's your net worth that determines your net worth. And by net worth, I mean self-worth. What value do you bring to the table? Why should this person choose you over someone else? Are you willing to go above and beyond for them? Yeah, what's in it for you? Well, what's in it for them as well? So remember that. At the end of the day, use the power of connection to open up doors, and more importantly, help others. I promise you guys do this, and you'll grow a positive reputation as someone who just continues to pay it forward. All right, raising private money, working with investors is easy. You guys got this, and it starts right here in this room. So what we're gonna do right now is open it up to Q&A. Because I see a lot of head nods, and I know you all have questions. How does this apply to me? We've got about 14 minutes. For those of you who have questions, this is your time. Yes.
I have the iPad right here if you want to submit your questions through the app. If you want to take one question until they come in.
Okay, sure. What was your question?
So when you get somebody to agree to, has money to invest, how are you going to an attorney to draw up that agreement based on, like you said, there's a lot of different ways to structure it?
Sure. So the question is, once you get someone to agree to lend you money, whether it's you or somebody else, what's the next step? There are so many steps. Yes, you want to work with either a title company or a real estate attorney, and they will draft up the loan documents for you. It's not hard. Write this down. There are 3 loan documents you're going to use. Number 1 is a promissory note, which simply summarizes the terms and conditions of your agreement. I promise to pay you back $100,000 in the next 12 months at an annualized interest rate of 12%. This loan is secured by the property located at 123 Main Street. It's a 1-page promissory note. Number 2 is that deed of trust. It's the recorded mortgage. That's their security. The number 1 reason why everyone in this country is not acting as a private money lender, assuming they have the means to do so, is because they're simply not educated on the process. So let's get out there and educate them. The security is huge. That's their collateral. If you decide to take the money and run, which you're not going to do, they can foreclose on you. You can't even sell the house without their written authorization. Who's going to say no to that as we educate them? And the third document is going to be the insurance policy. So you're going to have your insurance broker, agent, and your private money lender as a beneficiary or loss payee to your policy. It's not going to cost anything else, and you'll just give a copy of that to your private money lender. Does that help?
Follow-up question, do you have multiple people that are raising, like you said on that Arizona deal, you have 4 folks on that. Are they all just still on the promissory note?
So you can have, on the Arizona deal, that's a 4-way partnership we've established. We only have 1 private money lender on the deal. You can have 2, 3, you can have multiple private money lenders on a deal. I'm not going to get into all the SEC regulations and compliance. In order to avoid all of that and make sure you're being compliant, it's not a big deal. I've had 5 private money lenders on a deal. You want to make sure 2 things have happened. How many?
2.
How many?
2.
This is very important. Number 1, everyone has their own separate set of loan documents. We do not want to pool investor funds unless they're syndicating. In that case, talk to a syndications attorney. Number 2, every private money lender must have their own separate lien position. So if I've got 3 P&Ls on a deal, I've got 3 lien positions with 3 loan docs, and you're golden. You don't need a securities attorney. All right?
No questions through the app yet.
What other questions you guys have? How can you grow and scale? How can you network with intent? How can you weave these strategies into your day-to-day lifestyle to build your list of buyers and sellers? Yes, sir.
Let's say you do that 4-second pitch.
Mhm.
Say something more about that. What you said.
So the question was, all right, great. I'm going to implement the 4-second power pitch. And then they're going to say, tell me more. Now what? That's a great question. So now I'm going to give you another script. It's the 20-second follow-up. The 20-second follow-up, and ours are going to all sound different, right? I can give you a template for it. Actually, If you go to my Instagram page, you can download a template, my 4-second power pitch with the script, and you can make it your own. So my 20-second follow-up is something along the lines of, I'm super breezy in my voice inflection. Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm a real estate investor based out of downtown Chicago, and we're currently on target to complete 10 renovations over the next 12 months. But what's so cool about that process is our investors love it, because they get to kick back and relax while we do all the work, and they earn double-digit returns with a protected, secured, and insured asset. What was it that you say you do again? It's so nice to meet you. Yours is gonna look different, because maybe you're not an investor. But if you're somebody's capital partner, or you have investor clients, how do we tweak that slightly so that the script is still yours, right? It's a matter of principle. And then if they want to know more, which they will, that's a whole other conversation. Send me a DM, that's a whole other conversation, right? But this is just getting the ball moving. Does that help? What else? The question is, how do you structure these deals with your private money lenders? Is it debt? Is it equity? It's both. I told you guys earlier I'm greedy. I like to put everyone in a debt position. You don't need to give away equity. But when I first started, I was giving away equity. So what I do today, primarily 90% of the time in the last 10 years, is everyone's in a debt position. They understand they are silent stakeholders, whether it's for me or your clients. You don't have a say in the renovation process. I don't care about your opinion. No, I don't say that to them, right? I do it in a nicer way. And you're going to collect a 12% annualized return, so 1% a month. Or if it's equity, then that 25% equity is just displayed in the promissory note. Okay? Any other questions for the iPad?
Nothing coming through yet.
We have a question from the floor. How do you get them to agree to a finder's fee?
Wait, I have to look at who's, oh.
Tila.
How do you get them to agree to a finder's fee? Oh, that's a phenomenal question. I can't guarantee anything, right? If I could guarantee, I would guarantee this, but I'm not guaranteeing you anything. For those of you who have investor clients, or for those of you who want to be investors or start working with more investors, I promise you, you tell them, I'll still take you up on a finder's fee with the money I raised today. If you say, I've got a private money lender, I can't put their funds to work, they've got this is happening right now, they've got $300,000 to invest, I'd be happy to hand them over to you on a silver platter for my standard finder's fee, which for me is always just 1% of the loan amount. No one's going to say no to that. If they do, they don't know what they're doing, and that's not someone you want to introduce your private money lender to anyways. All right? And if they say no, or how about half a point or 0.5%, I don't want to be known as the person that says no, and I know how valuable this skill set is. This is what so many people don't understand. Instead of saying no, that's not my standard process. My standard process is 1% of the loan amount. But let me know if you're in or not, because I got 15 other people knocking on my door who would love to take that money. All right? What else? Yes. Actually, let's go here first, yeah. So the gentleman in the pink and gray.
My name is Ellis Trail. I'm from Idaho. By the way, I help investors get 10% returns on their investments.
I love this!
Love it. So I've been doing flips for forever, and we're kind of moving up to do developments. Asking someone for $500,000 has always been simple, but as you're jumping into the bigger numbers, what's any advice on that? Going from, hey, we need 500,000 to hey, we need 5, 10 million.
Yeah, it's all the same process. So I literally have 94 scripts, lessons, workbooks, and tools that I take investors through. It's the same process, whether you're raising $100,000 or $5 million. Step one is the 4-second power pitch. So earlier you said, what do do I say next? 20-second follow-up. I'm going to give you one more strategy, and then you can build off of this, okay? They're going to want to know more and more and more. So I have 17 different credibility pieces that I take my private money lenders through. The very first one is just a general, basic, super high level private money presentation. Oh, you want to know more? I want to be respectful of your time out with friends and family members. Tell you what, give me your number, I'll give you a call next week. We'll set up a 15-minute Zoom. 15 minutes, I don't care how much you like the person. And I'll just give you a super high level overview of how this process works. And a private money presentation, you guys, is who are you, what do you do, what's in it for you, what's in it for them, and what's the call to action. That's it. And then you can build off of that, right? But it's educating them. How do we as real estate professionals increase control in our business so that in return we can reduce risk? Well, we increase control for our buying criteria, our target market, our team of experts. So we have different credibility pieces we use to articulate all of that to our private money lenders. So through your ongoing credibility pieces, you'll continue to raise more and more money. All right? And then what was your question? We have about 4 minutes left.
So after you have sealed the deal with all these investors, gone through the process, those 3 documents, or you have done that, there's always failure. I'm sure you've had a few of those investments with that portfolio fail. Can you share with us, one of the fears we might have is, the first time I do it, I might fail, and these investors might go, hey, you totally, screwed us.
Yeah.
Maybe an example of a pitfall that you can see that we would have, but to kind of break through that fear for us.
We all have fear. I still have fear. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make money. We are going to lose money. It happens. So for me, I over-communicate. Before anyone ever lends me money, I tell them, just like I told you, I can't guarantee anything. Worst case scenario, you have to be okay never seeing that $100,000 again. But the probability of that happening is not likely for all of these reasons, all the controls you put into place. Right? So they have to understand you're not guaranteeing a return, they're still making an investment. I shared a very emotional story on Instagram. I can talk about it now without crying 5 years later. 2017 was the worst year of my life. Person professional, lost $1.4 million. This is not business money. This was real money. Because I chose to make a decision. If I lose a private money lender's money, I'm going to do everything I can to pay them back, out of pocket. I'll sign personal guarantees on my deals all day long. You don't have to. A lot of people out there don't sign personal guarantees. They'll tell you, sorry, you made an investment. When you know how to make money in real estate, it's easy to make money and build it back up. So I liquidated my retirement account. I sold all my assets. I put private money lenders on payment plans. Still till this day, I'm probably the only person out there who will admit it. Less than a handful of private money lenders got back. They got back about 90% of their principal. Not 100, but 90%. And it still bothers me till this day. Maybe that's why I talk about it. I still think about going back. I probably will and just pay them back. So you have to decide what your strategy is and what are you going to do if you take a loss, and you got to over-communicate. As you see that your project is taking longer, or you're going over budget, whether it's you or your clients, you got to over-communicate. We have monthly investor updates that go out. We're behind our timeline. Here's why. Here's what I'm going to do to remedy the situation. Okay? It's part of what we do.
Question from the back.
Yes.
Would there be any conflict of interest if we are working on the lending side and we're a realtor?
Is there a conflict of interest if you generate finder's fees on the lending side?
Mm-hmm.
So I am not a real estate attorney or a managing broker. I would say talk to the real estate attorney and or your managing broker to figure out, because you're all licensed real estate professionals. I'm not. That doesn't matter. I work with investors all the time who can still collect referral fees or finder's fees, I'm sorry. It just depends on how we structure and what we say. right? So like, I'm not a licensed agent, realtor, broker, but I still collect oh God, here go the eyes. I still collect a referral fee, but it's in the form of a marketing consulting service, right? But a lot of people don't know that I can even do that. And I said, oh, go talk to your managing broker, it's fine. So we may just change the way that we collect that finder's fee.
We have a question from the front.
Hello, Amy. You've done a phenomenal job. Thank you. How would we gain access to you for like coaching?
Brady, if you scan this QR code, I never even explained it. This is my Instagram. To a fault, I'm on Instagram way too much. I don't blow anyone off. That's another fault of mine. So if you send me a DM, I will respond. But that's how you guys can connect with me. So I'm actually going to be around. I saw you guys had some more questions. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So I'll be around if you guys want to pick my brain or ask more questions. But you guys got this. You're in great hands. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you during the next
Give a big round of applause.